Is hosted by Tony Gapperstone. Thanks for tuning in. It's showtime.
Hey, welcome to episode 267 of the Brave Maker podcast. My name is Tony Gapperstone. I'm an actor, director, and a screenwriter. I'm living in the Bay Area. I'm the founder and executive director of Brave Maker. And you can find me on all the socials at Tony Gapperstone. That's my name. My website is tonygap.com. I'm very active out there. I love meeting creatives. I have a feature film and a ton of short films and continuing to make stories come to life. And I love that every single week, Thursdays, we get to have creators and makers of all kinds here on our Brave Maker podcast live. And if you're watching on the replay, we encourage you to follow along, encourage and support these independent filmmakers and what they're doing. If you're not following us or subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do. We're everywhere at bravemaker.org on TikTok and X and Insta and Facebook and all the places. Today, I am going to be joined by my friend and colleague and co-host of the show today, Priscilla Lamb. Hi, Priscilla.
Hey. I'm excited to be here.
How are you holding up?
I am hopeful.
Yeah.
I take away and take charge that I am responsible for my life, and I will continue to do what I have to do to make sure I achieve the life that I want.
It is November 7th, 2024, and so we're 2 days after the presidential election. And so some people are having some feelings. I'm definitely having some feelings. My energy is at a weird place today. It wasn't what I expected or hoped for, and you might have a totally, if you're listening or watching, a totally different take on that. And that's what's the beauty of this country, is that we can have different perspectives, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. And I had a lot of hope that we would see and hear the words Madam President. And I have so many discouraging thoughts that took me literally 24 hours. I was out yesterday. I just had nothing to give. I had people saying, could I talk with you? You know, some people know I'm a person of faith, so I have all this other life where I'm really involved with the church. And I had to tell people, like, I'm trying to take care of myself today. I can barely do that. So as we talk today, this is actually going to be great, because sometimes, you know, the creative process, we need to do it because it helps us. It helps us cope. It helps other people. Entertainment is an escape, but it's also therapeutic. So I definitely feel that. And then there are times when you got to step back and go, it's okay not to create. It's okay to say, I'm going to just, you know, sit in bed or go for a walk. I worked out. I went for a walk, you know, all the things to try to take care of myself. So whatever you feel out there today, my hope is you find a way forward and find a way through it. And I believe that stories can help us do that. So with no further ado, Priscilla, tell us who we have on the show today. You made some cool connections, and we're going to be talking to some creators of a series.
Yes, I'm so excited. One thing that Brave Maker is big on is empowering stories of people who are already making them. And we're just amplifying what they're doing. So I got to meet Michaela P. Shelton on her Instagram because her Instagram is popping. Okay. I saw her doing her thing, but we connected through 11th Hour Creatives, which is a collective in the Bay Area that focuses on a playground for filmmakers to collaborate and to make short films annually. And she came on board as a producer, and I got to see her character and her work ethic. And I'm telling you guys, she is fun. She knows how to laugh at life. And when you meet people like that, you hold on to that, especially as a producer, because you know that they will bring joy to the set that you have. So it's a pleasure working with Michaela. Michaela, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit more and drop the series that we're going to be talking about today, Reckless Behavior.
Hi! Oh my God, thank you guys so much for having me. Like, I'm so excited for this opportunity. I am Michaela P. Shelton. I'm the creator of Reckless Behavior, the series, which started back in 2018. And now we have 3 seasons. The 3rd season is coming out soon, but I'm really happy to be here and talk about that process.
So cool, Michaela. I watched a couple of your episodes and I am so inspired because you truly are doing what we talk about here at Brave Maker all the time, is just taking control. Like Priscilla said, we can only control what we can control, right?
Yeah.
So you made stuff happen. And it's really cool because I see this happening right now, Priscilla said, in the industry, is that we are seeing the kind of throwback to what Issa Rae did with, Diary of an Awkward Black Girl, is that you created your own characters, created your own series. You have 3 seasons out there floating around. You're getting some attention. You're not waiting on other people to give you permission to do it. And it's also setting a precedent I'm seeing in the industry, as the industry is turning upside down right now, that people are actually going out and creating their own series, and then they're getting picked up, like at Sundance. I don't know if you know about the Penelope series that Mark Duplass did, but he created this show with his own money. It got into Sundance, and then Netflix picked it up. So I am very inspired to learn today about how the ins and outs all worked for you. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Oh, I really appreciate it. I'm excited to talk about it.
Well, tell us who we also have coming on the podcast with us today.
So we have Lauren Rascoe and we have T. Carriér. Both of them are producers and have directed episodes of season 3 of Reckless Behavior, the series, as well as actors in the show too. So they both wear a lot of hats and definitely heavily contributed to the show coming to fruition.
Okay, thank y'all for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Now, please
definitely. Thank you for having us.
Yes, please, Michaela. You say you created it. And T is in your show, and Lauren. How did you guys transition from being just actors on the episodes to producing and launching season 3?
Yeah, I'll jump in first.
I was gonna say, Lauren, you can go. Yeah, you can go.
I'll jump in first. Actually, just to take a step back, Reckless Behavior is actually the first show I ever acted in. It's my first ever acting experience to begin with. So Michaela really took a shot on me, something serious. Transitioning from acting to producing and also directing really was just kind of a spiraling thing. I think after being on the set for Reckless for season 2, really I got an interest in, I had an already burning interest to learn how productions and sets really worked, and wanting to just navigate how to jump into this industry and use my creative abilities in that way. I did my own short film shortly after Reckless Behavior called Child of the Sun, which you see the poster back there in the back. And that was my first time producing an entire thing and just figuring it out. And from doing that and directing that piece, Michaela came back and was like, hey, would you like to direct an episode? And would you like to be a producer for season 3? And I was like, hell yeah. So that's kind of how it all came together, is really just me having an interest, but also Michaela just really taking a shot on me personally.
All right. How about for you, T?
No, very, very similar. I started kind of just wanting to do the small piece of a cameo type thing. And I told Michaela, hey, I just want to be a part of it in any capacity. So I was, pitching myself to be a music supervisor any way I can be involved. And eventually she just started kind of investing in me more so as a brain trust. and exchanging ideas and kind of brainstorming about different things that we, may have wanted to implement in the show. And then eventually that just, that turned into me kind of being more invested as well. And she offered me an opportunity to be a producer. And I had never done anything like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm down. But, it was scary territory, considering that I was just learning how to act as well. So it's been a great journey so far. I'm excited to see what happens going forward.
Nice. Okay, we're going to jump into the nitty gritty. I'm going to ask one more question, just hand it over to Tony. But Michaela, for you, what gave you the balls to start it in 2018? What was the initial budget for season 1? And how did the budget differ from season 3?
Ooh, okay. So back in 2018, I was only blogging about like my life experiences. And then someone had asked me to write up a review about their web series. And it kind of just made me think like, oh, like what if I turned my blog into like a series? I could reach like a larger audience. I was very scared, but shout out to my previous business partner, Imani Baylor, because we talked about it and we were kind of like, okay, like we've never done this before, but like maybe we can, like there's Google, like we can figure out how to do this and like loop in some of our friends, have discussions with people, pick people's brains and just kind of figure it out. So if it wasn't for Imani, like letting me know and assuring me that I could do it and also helping me pay for the show, I would definitely not be here today. So I always like to shout her out. But yeah, I think that I just wanted to reach a larger audience because I know like I'm the type of person that will read people's blogs because I'm very intrigued by people's personal experiences, but I know everyone isn't reading blogs. So I was like, it would be really cool if there was another way for me to share my stories with people and let them know that they're not alone in the struggle. So as far as the budget, it differed drastically. When we made season 1, I was on this, I'm going to quit my job and be an entrepreneur. So I didn't even have a job when we did season 1. Still dealing with credit card debt from that. But I was just like, you know what? Like, I believe in myself. I think I'm talented. I think I'm a good writer because writing's always been like my number one passion. And I was like, we're just kind of going to figure it out. Literally, I'm going to figure it out. We started crowdfunding, which got a little bit of money for the show. Again, I was using credit cards and I was doing like a lot of little odd jobs and like content writing for people. So that's how we paid for season 1. And this budget is probably like 5 times more than the budget of season 1. So 3 was definitely very expensive. Okay. But now I do have a job and I have a decent job. I'm like, okay, I'm actually able to take it to the next level.
So Michaela, let's talk about the story, your personal experiences, the writing, the actual, like, what is the series about? Talk about what people can tune into. Right now 2 seasons are fully on Tubi, right? So they can catch up. And if you are watching live, you're going to see some clips. And Tubi, by the way, is totally free to stream, which is great. We actually just had the original content creator, Brett Takashita, on our Monday Zoom, which we call the Creative Mastermind through Bravemaker. So anybody who wants to learn more about getting your stuff on Tubi or working with Tubi, you should hit us up or go to our website, bravemaker.com, to watch that replay. But let's talk about what people can expect when they watch this series. I get a little bit of, Fresh Prince, Insecure. I mean, there's a lot of like vibes and influences. So let's hear all the stuff that went behind the creative and the story.
Yeah, so the show, which stemmed from the blog, basically stemmed from like my frustration after college because I very much thought it was going to be like fairy tale like, where I'm like, oh, I have my degree, like I did my part. Now I'm going to get married and I'm going to buy a house and I'm going to get a job in my field. And I think being so frustrated from it just not being an easy thing for me, I just got mad and I was like, okay, I don't really know how to deal with this. Like I keep applying for jobs. I'm getting this runaround that I don't have a lot of experience, but I have this debt I'm also paying for. Like, what the hell? So I just started writing and I was really scared to put out my blogs because I'm like, a lot of this is personal and like I'm just venting and partly complaining about this reality, and slowly just started putting stuff out there and people would respond. And I'm like, oh God, like people are responding to my content. Because it was my first time doing something like that where I'm putting out stuff that I've written. And I think getting just more of an audience and like getting a little more personal, and it just, I felt like I had to. I'm like, I know other people have gone through these things and they probably feel better if they know they're not the only one. Because there's certain taboo topics that, like, you know, you just don't want to talk about because, like, you don't want people to judge you and they're sensitive. But I was just putting it all out there. And, like, it's like the more personal I got, the more people would respond to me and tell me, like, thank you for doing this. I'm like, oh, wow, like, I shouldn't stop. I should keep going. So I blogged for like 6 years. My blogs are still present on queenmediacollective.com. And I'm very just surprised that, because I wasn't doing it for the goal of getting like this following, but it kind of happened organically. And I'm just so thankful for that, and that people were able to like feel like I'm a relatable person. And it definitely helped as like a coping mechanism to my millennial frustration. And then with the show, definitely just the same thing, to where I'm like, I want to share all the struggles, the stuff that has been successful in my 20s, the stuff that has been not so successful. And that is why I created the show. I just wanted to give people something to relate to so they can feel like they're not alone.
I love that. And with it being so personal, in London, as you guys got added as producers and directors, did you guys have an opportunity to pull in storyline pieces from your guys' experiences and bring it to Michaela, saying like, hey, I think this would be good to also intertwine? How did the creative control or process go with adding your two producers?
I pretty much, all the stuff pretty much, I mean, we talked about like different ideas and like things like that. And I think season 1 and a little bit of season 2 was like things that had actually happened to me. And then 3 is just completely just from the brain, like nothing that actually happened in real life. But I think we definitely talked, and there's other producers we have too. We have Nick Robinson, we have Sierra Hernandez, and then we have Shamari Ray Bell. So it was our whole group of 6 producers working on it. T and Lauren are just the only ones that directed an episode. So we would definitely get on calls and like discuss ideas. And if we didn't think things were like such a good idea, but initially I do all the writing myself. No one else writes on the show but me. But I would definitely send my scripts to them and be like, okay, like, what do you guys think? Like, does it sound realistic? Do you think we should change this? But it's been really good to have like the different perspectives, because season 1, I just wrote it and I was like, all right, y'all, we're doing this. And after, certain people who were involved were like, yeah, maybe we should have made a different decision. And I'm like, well, nobody told me. Like, I didn't know. We just kind of did what I wrote originally. But I think adding on more people who I trust and that have like a good creative eye was really good for the storyline, because season 3 that ended up coming to fruition is not what it was going to be in the beginning.
Nice.
I like that you all are learning as you go. I mean, that is just what people need to do. There's too much waiting for the perfect thing, the perfect amount of money. I mean, I don't want people to go into debt, but it's like, you know, if you don't, like, okay, that's what credit cards are there for, I guess. Like, swipe, and make the payment.
I'm like, I don't recommend doing it that way.
You're right. I mean, but you do hear there is a percentage of people that use the credit card that helps, and it springboards them into the next thing. And then eventually they're able to pay it off. Is it a risk? It sure is, but creativity is a risk, and that is a risk one can take. The other thing is kind of like what Priscilla does with 11th Hour, just going, everybody's going to do it for free in exchange for services, and we're going to work hard and commit to it and not make excuses, whatever. So I think you just got to find what works for you. And what I like hearing about for T and Lauren is, you know, Lauren, you'd never acted before. By the way, Lauren and I know we met before, but we got to work on the Steph Curry show together called Mr. Throwback. So we were chatting it up there. And then I saw Lauren at this DGA event last week. Super fun. So I'm so proud to see Bay Area people doing stuff and making stuff and learning as you go. Talk about the things that you learned, you know, after doing 3 seasons that you're doing different now, you know. So is it like more feedback and notes on the script? Is it casting? Tell us the things you would never do again because they did not work or they're just not useful right now, because that's what this is all about. You know, we can make fun of it, look back, oh, I can't believe I did that, that was awful, or that didn't sound, whatever. What is the things that you learned that you're changing up now?
Everybody can get one.
You guys can start because I gotta.
Okay, I'll jump in. I think for me, I think there's a lot that I learned about being an actor director, that like just having to wear so many different hats in your in a project that for me, it was like that. I think while from what we've seen from, even though other people haven't seen it, like I did a decent job like acting, but while trying to do that, while also like move things along while we were doing the shooting day, I felt as if I didn't give myself enough time to breathe to do the scenes that I was actually in, because I think I had to direct myself maybe 2 or 3 times, and I felt so concerned about time and making sure that we were moving along and just like making sure we got to all the scenes, because we only have so much daylight, that sometimes I did feel like I rushed through my pieces, so wanting to make sure that in the future, if I ever do like direct myself again and am producing, that like we give enough space to breathe. That was something that like maybe that was just like a personal thing for me that I thought was really important. But also just like in general, being able to just let stuff happen sometimes. Like, I think out of the group, I definitely was the one that was like, okay, we gotta like make things be a certain way. That sometimes like things just happen. You kind of just gotta roll with it and figure it out when you get there. But planning ahead of time is helpful, but you can't like plan for everything. Like things are gonna happen and you just kind of gotta roll with the punches. So that was something that I learned in doing season 3, or 2 things I learned.
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, I wouldn't change anything. I feel like everything that I did was a learning experience, good and bad. I think one of the main hurdles this year were just some of the personal things that I may have dealt with in regards to family and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as what Michaela allowed us to do, none of it was overwhelming in my opinion. I think it was just all great experiences to be able to be an actor and then direct, and still be able to give input on other scenes and kind of do some coaching with the actors and stuff like that. I do it all again. You know what I mean? I'm hoping we can do it again.
I think for me, oh man, so many things. I think definitely like the financial piece. I think I would take more of like your approach, Priscilla, where it's like we're all doing this, like we all have the same goal, but like having to pay somebody and taking money away from like the actual elements of the show, like paying for locations and other things. I think I would go like to that approach where it's like, okay, like you understand like that nobody's getting paid while we're doing this, and like now you have money for other things. And I think also just being better organized. Shout out to Lauren. I will always say this when I talk about season 3, because we weren't storyboarding. I had never storyboarded until Lauren directed and she storyboarded. And I just saw how efficient that was. And I was just like, wow, like how have I not been doing this? Like my approach was literally showing up and I'm like, all right, this is the scene. I would look at the cameraman, the DP, and be like, all right, how do you think we should shoot it? And we talk through it, and that would be so time consuming because I did not take the time to storyboard. So I think storyboarding, I know there's other tools out there I haven't learned about yet just to make things better, like, or better organized. Because I think season 1, we all kind of were like, okay, we're just doing it. Then season 2, it's like, oh, like people are actually interested in this. And that's when I started thinking like, what if this could be a career for me? Like, I'm really enjoying this. What if this is a career? So I think like, there's definitely been a shift of us operating more like a business, but I think there just definitely needs to be more of that. A lot of things were reactive and not so proactive, and we just didn't know. But I definitely think like those two things for sure, like the money and then like the organizational piece. Also as far as the money, kind of getting more organized and not feeling like I have to pay for everything myself, because I know there's so many resources out there, so many grants. I know a lot of people are like fiscally sponsored, and I've never truly looked into that because I'm like, I'm so busy like trying to write everything. I'm so busy trying to do all these other pieces that I never truly looked into like the grants and like opportunities to get fiscally sponsored. So I think I would do that instead of just struggling to pay for everything myself and crowdfund.
Things.
Yes, and Brave Maker, you guys can always reach out to Tony offline because Brave Maker has physical sponsorships that we offer. But yes, so I'm gonna plug that in. But I want to say I love and I appreciate you guys sharing the things that you guys learned, and praise God that you guys had the opportunity to learn and grow and bump your heads, and people still rock with y'all and still show up. Your premiere was so much fun. And it looks like you guys do have a large community. I love the collaboration that you guys already have. And so I'm going to transition to the producer mindset because I'm also a producer. And Brave Maker offers a producer academy. And one of the things that we talked about in our class is that when we have a smaller budget, we all share hats. Like it's like whatever we got to do to get it done. For you guys and your team of 6, how do you guys divide up the responsibilities as producers? Or do you guys give producer like specific titles like line producer or different things like that? Or how do you guys handle your producer circle?
Yeah,
so certain people had specific tasks, and it was kind of just based on people's strengths. Like Shamari, we put her in charge of casting because I would say like she's one of our strongest actors, so she handled the whole casting process because I know she has an eye for that. Sierra has a really good eye and is one of those people that can like watch a movie and be like, oh, that's not consistent. So I knew that she would be good to be like our script editor. And then Nick, and then there's just other tasks. Nick doesn't have a specific role, but like we all kind of just would chime in and like give feedback, and people like sign up for things based on their capacity. Because of course everybody's so busy. So sometimes we would just talk through certain tasks and be like, all right, like who has the bandwidth to get this done? But certain tasks, I would go to certain people directly, just knowing that like that's one of their strengths to get a certain task done.
Yeah, and I think also like I was saying, sometimes things would just arise and it was like, we gotta get this done. So I think at those points, that's when it became like all hands on deck and whoever was available. But yeah, like Michaela said, there were a lot of things were based on like what people's strengths were for our particular set. And I think even just like the different like line producers and things like that, I don't even think I learned about what those things were until we were like basically done with the season. So yeah, just piggybacking off of what Michaela said.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar too. Like, definitely still learning. So I just learned what a line producer was like a few months ago. So I'm like, even the like knowing like the industry, like what different producers do, there's still a learning curve there.
I think that is really awesome to hear that, because insecurity and fears, again, of I don't know all the things. I've been in this business, and I say the business, for quite some time while still working other jobs, right? I hear you all have other jobs, right? Yeah. You definitely want to do this full time. You want to make your career full of filmmaking and acting, but it is a very privileged thing that only a small percent of people get to do. So you have choices to either go, well, I guess I'm never going to be able to do it because I will, I've told myself I'll only do it if and when I can do it full time, or you find a way to do it and you go, I still don't know everything. I don't know all the official lingo for all the different roles and all the different things, but you've got 3 seasons of a series with characters and you've built an audience. And yeah, would you do things differently? Are things not what you had wanted to be? Did you not storyboard? I mean, that just is mind-boggling encouraging that you just went out and did it. And I think that the takeaway here is, hey, if you're listening or you're watching, just make something, make it. You can do it. You can learn while doing it. And then, there's a festival that just started. Not my favorite title, but I love that they do it. The Worst Film Festival, which is where people start showing things that are the worst projects they've ever made. And they're showing it as a way to learn, but also then they give away money. I mean, so it's like you're seeing people turn the whole system upside down and go, you know what? Just do it. And who cares? And there's something to me that I hope ends up being a really great positive for you all, as people look at that and go, wow, what could they do if they had money? What could they do if they had the mentoring or the studio backing? Like, wow, what could they do if they had the gear and the artists to help really supplement all these great ideas? That's what I see. And, let me say this, it might not happen, who knows, right away, but the fact that you keep going regardless is really encouraging, because I've been waiting for quite a long time thinking someone would see that for me too, and it still hasn't happened, but I just keep making stuff, because that's the only option I have.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, because sometimes, like, now that I'm working with Priscilla on Food Run was like the first time I worked on anything else, and I reached out to her and I was super nervous, and I was like, hey, like, I wanted to know if I could like get involved, because I'm like, the only thing I've done is my show. Like, I can't just have my show on my resume and like nothing else. But just like being on calls with like her, and shout out to Merkilo, and and even like working with Alexia, with Jordan Skipper and other things, I'm like, oh my God, like there's so much that I don't know. And I hate asking questions. I'm trying to Google like what stuff means and me feeling insecure because I'm like, everyone's like so proud of me and they say they're inspired, but like, I don't know shit for real. Like, I mean, not like that, but it just like, I'm just like, wow. And that's why I'm happy that I started networking and being a part of other things so I can learn more like in real time. It's been great. And no one's been judgmental. Like, how do you not know that? Everybody's really willing to like educate you and like share their knowledge. So I really appreciate that. But I was for sure like insecure in the beginning because I'm like, yeah, I have 3 seasons, but we pretty much have been doing like what I think. Like I didn't go to film school or anything. Like I have a journalism degree and like this is how we do things, but I don't know industry standard.
Girl, you are a pleasure to work with. The truth is, we are all out here trying to figure it out. We don't got all the answers either. And I was like, when you hit me, I was like, oh my gosh, she's hitting me. Like, of course, I can learn from you. So thank you for that connection for sure. Okay, I'm going to pivot real quick because I do have questions about shooting it. Yeah. You guys are outside a lot of exterior shots. Are you guys just guerrilla style popping up, get it real quick and then dip in? Or are you guys getting like location permits? I'm just, because you guys are really outside in the bay. Like y'all are outside.
Guerrilla style all day.
I'm not mad at it. You guys can get it done.
Hey, sometimes it'd be so bad. We just will be like, hey, look, let's just hurry up before people start seeing what we're doing. You know what I mean? I think at some point you got to go about it the legit way. But where we are in our careers, and we really just wanted to make sure we captured the authentic pieces in the Bay. And we just got blessed by the community. Nobody gave us a hard time. We never had any police interactions. God, kept us from having any issues like that. So I'm thinking, people saw what we were doing and just wanted to support it.
That's everything. And I love that you said, T, that's where you guys are at your film career. Because I feel like a lot of times when we start, we feel the pressure of being an iPhone 15 and 16 when it's like, bro, can you please be an iPhone 1 first? Can you be an iPhone 2? Can you just be an iPhone? Somewhere. Yeah, starting somewhere and just not despising small beginnings. And when you know you're going to go higher. So when you get higher, we'll run at that level. But do what you can with what you have right where you are. And so that's why I really love you guys' show. Y'all storylines do be crazy. but I love like the independent filmmaking. Like I'm doing what I can with what I have, and I'm not making no excuses for what I'm trying to do and be about. Okay. What individually can we see from you guys next? And as the show can we see from you guys?
Not everybody looking like that. Well, for me individually, 2025, I really want to focus on like my writing because I feel like I've been doing so much. I haven't really been able to hone in and focus on one skill set. And I know that writing, like I'm a writer to my core and I love it so much. So I'm like, okay. So next year, I just want to get in different workshops. I just want to get more feedback. I just want to practice writing different kinds of material because I have other scripts that I have, but I just want to get more of those. Everything's been so consumed with Reckless that I definitely want to just like see what else I can do, and like what that looks like and just continue to network and grow there.
Right.
Yeah. For me, I am currently a part of 2 different short films. A lot of acting things have been coming my way really because of Reckless and just like being out there. So I've been doing a lot of different like commercial and acting things, but I do want to do more behind the scenes. But I will be a part of a short film called Crosswalk, was being produced by Corduroy Media, which was written and is going to be directed by Alex Ivy. And then a student film by Jaya Day called Estranged. She's a student at SF State. So this will be my second time working with her. We'll be shooting those both in the same week in like 2 weeks. So that's going to be crazy. But super excited about that. I just like last week, and I sent it to Michaela, I started writing a script for hopefully a feature So that's something that I'm working on, just exploring what it looks like to be a writer for the first time, and just kind of exploring that. I hope to eventually get into the producer class here at Bravemaker as well, so I can get more hands-on on behind the scenes in different set, but life has just been doing a lot of things, so I haven't had a lot of time to just hold another project like I've held Reckless. But those are the most immediate things that are happening in my life right now. So yeah, hopefully you'll see this short film or feature film in the future.
2025.
That's too soon.
We're gonna speak it into existence. We're gonna speak it into existence. Now, I mean, for me, outside of film, music is also, one of my primary passions. But acting is, I got the bug now, so hopefully I can get some more acting opportunities. I have been given a few opportunities because of Reckless. I was able to work with Keke Palmer on a show that she produced for Key TV earlier this year. I was able to do some work with Reebok on a short film. So it's like I want to continue to do projects that I'm passionate about and things that I can also relate to. But working with Michaela, it's like it's hard not to want to do some projects of your own. So I think I don't have any scripts written or anything like that, but I do have ideas in my brain that I may want to put into fruition as far as short films or even just movies in general. But the way I feel about film now is just like I feel like I can do so many different parts of it, not just acting. So I definitely want to put some pieces together that involve some of my peers in the industry as far as music as well, and do some integration with film. And back in the day, like how when you was in the 90s, you had all the rappers and the comedians in films. I kind of want to bring that back.
Super fun. And shout out to Chris Cobbs, the creator of Big Girl Blues, which is the Keke Palmer produced web series that you were a part of. We are going to have him on our podcast in December. So please make sure you guys come back and hear that episode. But y'all are killing it. Y'all are doing it.
Thank you. Man. It was a long road. It was a long road to get here. And I think we're working on distribution right now. We're working with Black Films Rock, and we signed a contract with them for distribution. So I'm just excited to see where season 3 ends up. I hope it ends up on multiple platforms, and for somebody to get some interest so we can keep it going, because I feel like now we have this community. And I'm just like, I don't know how we got here. I don't know how so many people show up for us and support us, but I'm just so thankful. So I can't wait till season 3 is out to the world and just to hear what people think about it, because I feel like for season 1 and season 2, I'm very particular and I'm very picky. And I think there were so many things in 1 and 2 where I'm like, and then for 3, I'm like, okay, 3 has to be perfect. I don't care how much money I have to spend. I don't care what I have to shift around as far as who I'm working with, who's involved. But I'm like, 3 has to be it. And I'm so happy about it. I have no real critiques about season 3. I think that the money, the quality, the acting, the writing, everything has just gotten so much better. And I think it's because this is year 6 of this journey. So I'm just really excited for it to come out and to see what people think and see if we can get some more money and keep the journey going. Because now I'm like, okay, I think I've exhausted all the money because 3 was expensive. 3 was so expensive and I have no regrets, but I'm just like, I just need Tyler Perry, somebody to call me hey. So yes, really excited.
Well, very cool. Congratulations. Keep going after it. I know it's exhausting to go after your creative goals and dreams, but it's so worth it and very inspiring to hear. And I hope we see some more series. And all of you creators out there, check out the Bravemaker Film Festival on Film Freeway. We have submissions are open now. The film festival is July 10th through the 13th. And if you've got series, feature, shorts, music videos, we look for all sorts of great storytelling, not just in the Bay, but beyond. But we do have a good amount of Bay Area filmmakers that we love to celebrate. And then we also give away some grants to help seed the ideas that you have in your brain too, that are offered to selected filmmakers. So we're not done yet. Let's hear, hopefully you can stay for 2 more minutes, y'all, and tell us some of your favorite things of the week.
Brave Faves. TV shows, films, books, songs, technology, clothing, podcast, food, and more. These are a few of our favorite people, places, and things. Brave Faves.
All right, so this is where we take 30 seconds to do a quick favorite thing of the week. I'll tell you my favorite thing of the week is The Penguin, which is on HBO Max. I am loving it. It is a alternate kind of universe in the Batman series that tells a little bit about what the Penguin's life might have been like or is like in Gotham City, and I think it is done really well. It's like a gangster kind of television show, and the makeup on Colin Farrell is incredible. He's unrecognizable, but the drama is also great too. So that's my favorite thing of the week, The Penguin. Priscilla, what do you got? Favorite thing of the week?
All right, so my favorite thing of the week, I'm just wrapping up this book called Profit First by Mike. I don't know how to say his last name, but you can see here on the screen. And if you're listening, you're just gonna have to go to the YouTube link and look at this photo right now. But it's a book about prioritizing profits in your business. And I'm just looking forward to elevate my businesses in 2025. So reading this book has been awesome. I liked it so much that I bought the version that is Profit First for creative, and I'm going to start that this weekend. But that's my Brave Fave.
That is awesome. What do you got, T? Favorite thing of the week? Could be anything.
I feel bad saying that this is my favorite, but I really didn't dig into Aaron Hernandez story on Hulu. I didn't know much about what was going on with him in real time. So like watching that show has been extremely interesting. Just all the different things that he was going through. But the acting on that show, the storytelling on that show is really, really good. And it kept me interested this week. So I don't know if that's a...
Hey, no, don't feel shame. You like what you like. Come on.
Yeah, it's a really good show though. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, who's next? Lauren, what you got?
I am gonna throw it back to something back from 2011, which is inspiring my new script that I'm currently working on. Is this song called "Denim" by Frank Ocean. It was produced by Brian Kennedy, and it came out on the Lonnie Bro mixtape, which like is nowhere to be found on the internet anymore. But I downloaded it back then, so I have it. And it's been inspiring me in a lot of ways, and has been taking me on a journey to help inspire this new script. So I'm super excited to just kind of sit with that song, marinate on it, and just like let it inspire me further. So Denim by Frank Ocean.
Thanks, Lauren. Michaela.
I will have to say my favorite thing this week has definitely been Glorilla's album, her debut album, Glorious. It's just been like, I've been really busy with work this week, and I've just been like, oh, I'm drowning. But I've been listening to her album. It's been giving me pumped. I went to the gym yesterday. I listened to her album, and I'm just really happy to have a really good album from a female rapper, because the album is good if you guys haven't listened to it. So that's been making me really happy this week, just making me feel super motivated to get things done.
Good. I love it. Thanks for giving us those little secrets to inspiring storytelling with music. Well, everybody else, thank you so much. I hope you have a week where you can find some favorite things. Again, here in November, as we're closing out the year, we are getting close to the end of 2024. And we have Thanksgiving, we have the holidays. We are still here. We'll be here every Thursday. Thank you to our producer, Alessia, who creates all of our promos and communicates with our guests, to Amy, who produces our live quotes. Thank you so much to Barnell, who is our podcast editor, so you can listen to this in your ears. But thank you for watching live. If you are a YouTuber, please like, subscribe, share the conversation we just had today with the creators and makers and actors and producers of Reckless Behavior. Support them, follow them on their social media. Also, as we get to the end of the year, we still have a couple things that are happening. We're going to be doing a mixer December 2024, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be in Redwood City for actors and makers. We'll announce that on our Instagram very soon. We are going to Sundance, y'all. We have 2 bunk beds left for women, and we have 3 or 4 left for men. We have a house and a condo this year, so if you want to come to Sundance with us, we're going January 22nd to the 27th, and we have space for you. Hit me up at tony@bravemaker.com or DM me on social media. And you just heard people who are making stuff. If you want to write a short film, I start teaching my screenwriting for production tomorrow, November 8th. You can go to bravemaker.com/events to sign up for that. All right, that's all I got. Thank you all so much for being a part of episode 267. Hopefully we'll see you around in the Bay. Keep going after it. We'll see season 4, season 5, season 6, and all the other things you got for your future. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we like to say brave stories change the world. And
you are the story.
All right, that's right. Bye, everybody.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at bravemaker.org. Like, subscribe, and share. To become a monthly donor, text the word BraveMaker to 44321 or go to bravemaker.com/donate. Thanks for tuning in.